This is your show.
All right. Oh, thanks. So I guess we'll start with like tips and tricks for Craigslist. I know most of y'all are pretty, I mean, you know how to post an ad, but there's so much competition lately, so I just wanted to just like share ideas to see how to get our ads to get more attention and just compete with all the competitors. There's a lot of, I mean, there's everything on Craigslist lately. A lot of fake stuff in Houston, like 2-bedroom, 500, and it shows like the venue, you know, so just how to just come up with ideas as a team to just better understand it and one secret that I have learned is I use Chrome to post. Because you see, I don't get flagged anymore using Chrome, and then it just helps.
Okay, your name is?
And we'll go over Zumper too.
Yes. Sabina. Okay, we're going to go all again, and then your email was?
Hey, Andrea, it's Cody out in Dallas. Do you see a difference in using Chrome and Safari when it comes to reposting, posting, or both?
It may be an hour and a half or so before it's dry, so
Both.
we'll meet back here.
Both? Okay.
Both for sure.
Maybe, let's see, it's 11 o'clock.
I don't know why it does, but it's... And then
If it works, it
also
works.
I have 2 accounts. I just don't have one. So it's helpful to have 2 accounts in case something ever happens to one of them. You have a backup.
What do you use for your second ad?
You can use Bamboo Agents, and then the other one I use either your private email or Bamboo Leasing, because I still have a Bamboo Leasing email.
Okay.
So, I mean, just to have backup, you know.
I don't know, she's kind of.
Oh, yeah, because she's going to be. But I'll ask.
What?
It's 11.
Yeah, you can use that. Like your private.
Okay. 1:30 would be actually okay, because I can go back and forth. I'm going to take my call, go do my other things, and then come back. Okay, 1:30 will get it.
One thing that'll be helpful too is if a question comes from the Houston office, if you can repeat it, just because we can't quite hear what that question was, if there was one.
I'll just stick with this account. Okay, so it's actually quite, I mean, I have like this little, I've been doing this for over 4 years, so I love the little arrows. So I have an infatuation with arrows. But anyway, so it just kind of gives attention to the main heading. And you really don't have to go to any of these properties to figure out what they look like or what they offer. I mean, you can just Google them and just kind of cheat and copy info. But like as you start learning the properties in Houston, you'll be able to know what to market them with. But like this one's in Midtown, it was brand new, and it reminded me of like a posh hotel. But I also incorporate the info from ABS, which is easy as well, into the whole ad. And then I have the same thing, like a signature, and I have 4 different signatures, but this just spits it out really fast, so I don't have to type it over and over again. But you can just, I mean, just kind of make yourself stand out. Just put a little bit about yourself. Like I saw one of your ads, Carol, and you said about me or something. It's cute, yeah.
How do you get that to do italic?
Oh, and that's what I'm going to go over too. So just basic HTML that you'll need for Craigslist is super simple. And I can email this to the team afterwards. But like for bold, the code for bold would be strong. And you would just put that before the text that you want to be bold. And then to make the bold come off, you would just do that. So whenever you add the little, what is that called? / Yeah, / it discontinues the code.
And the brackets, we can make a space.
Yeah. So you can kind of play with that, and then
Hit that and then check the word you want bold.
yeah, or the sentence, or any. You can do everything bold. I mean, it just depends on your preference, but don't freak out over that, because I know people are probably freaking out. Like, how do I do that? But once you start playing with it, it's super easy. And I'll send this out so y'all don't have to write it all down. But italicize, is that what you call it? Italics. So you start with the little code, and then you just do an I. And to stop it, you would just do the /I, stop. And then to do like a...
and the text goes inside of that.
Yeah, the text goes inside of that. So I love using that just to give it more flair. And another one that I use would be...
The spacing one? The BR.
Oh, yeah, the spacing. So to create like a space, it's BR. Is BR, and then you don't really have to end that code because it's just a
Space for what?
like, yeah, like for a return, like you know, to separate everything from everything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just get return. I guess.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Andrea's walking.
No, it's super easy. And this has been kind of working for me, but I also like just do accurate availability. I don't make up stuff because I don't know how to turn that into close a client, because I can't lie. I'm a horrible liar. So this is the floor plan, and I always include that at the end of the ad, and the exact price for that, and try to do the square feet as well. You seem to get more action on stuff like that. And then the number one thing I get action on is loss. Like, people are attracted to that word, loss. So I try to use that as much as possible as well. And you can change when you're doing an ad, and you can actually say what housing type. So if you put that to loft, you'll be surprised how many people search that and will call you. And then another thing, always click this, show my real email address, so you don't get that coded email when they reply. It'll be their normal email address. That took me like 3 years to figure out.
That makes sense. Huge. And it builds
Huge
confidence,
difference.
right?
Well, you don't have to beg people, oh, can I have your real email? You know?
But it's going to show
It's going to show the real email. It's not going to be all coded weird.
their real email.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought that was for me. Like, so
Me
too. For me to show them my real email. Okay.
I'm glad I showed up today.
I'll be rich by Friday.
Yeah, so that's huge. And then what else can we say about it? I have a Mac, which makes me superhuman with these Craigslist ads. So I have everything pretty set up in a macro. But
Andrea, do you think it helps to create a Word document with templates and then copy and paste from there?
yeah, and so this is my Word document that I've built up. So like every new property, kind of give your 2 cents about what you think.
Yep.
And then you can always paste that into the ad. And if you see the BR, that's just space, so I can continue writing whatever I want. And then you can start like specials like that, you know, crazy good deal. I mean, I don't know. Just try to, it's awesome. Just make it stand out more. But yeah, this will take some time to build up. But you know what? I copy a lot of people's and then I just put a little, change a few words, you know?
You mean you're scrolling around on Craigslist and you like what you
Yeah,
see, you just snag
like
it,
the one that
and
you
then
said.
change it. So repeat that so they'll know and listen to the bill.
Oh.
You can get a lot of good,
Info.
material
Yeah.
from what other people are doing that looks like it's working
Yes.
on Craigslist, and then just steal their work and then or hijack it and then tweak it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So no one has an excuse. I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Just go steal the information.
Like Amy.
Borrow it.
Yeah, borrow.
Borrow it. My bad.
Like
Make it better.
Amy's really good with her ads. I copy some of her stuff.
She learned everything she knows about.
Yeah, I taught her. She didn't know anything.
She is not pregnant.
Just real quick, I call that the R&D method, where you rip off and duplicate somebody else's work. I find inspiration from somewhere. It's totally fine. That's why we have you guys looking at other people's posts all the time.
Yeah,
Just a side note on that, sometimes
And,
I'll go into the summary of the property and I'll put in some of their amenity descriptions.
Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you guys don't have to like
And
reinvent
then,
the
like,
wheel
if I
every
see a
ad.
really good, if I see a really good picture on Craigslist that I want to steal, on a Mac, all you do is just save image as. You can just steal these and edit them if you like, but it's okay to steal pictures.
It is okay.
Yes.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yes. And then what else can I say? Let's see.
Do you, you don't include the name of any, I don't include
No.
the names of anything.
And you have to be careful because some people just go to websites and copy what they say about the building and then the building's names. And
It's
then,
all in it.
yeah, like,
And those words that you use are
Yeah.
so stupid. Trilling or,
oh, I know.
quality.
So you said that you don't use the name of the building.
No, it's kind of like you just want them to, you want to get their attention so they'll call you and then you flip the deal. And it's hard. I mean, sometimes it's super easy and sometimes it's really hard. So Craigslist changes every day. I mean, it's probably gone through like 6 major changes probably.
Faceless over the
Do you
years, yeah.
think that you get more people to contact you when you have the bandwidth to get this picture?
No. Well, the ad, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The 4-picture ad.
because it makes us look professional, like we know what we're doing.
But you probably mix it up with both.
I mix it up.
You can tell that to them that not all your ads have
Oh, that's
the
interesting.
banner picture
Yeah.
first. But most do, is that what you're saying?
I would say most of mine do. Some of them
Okay.
don't, but
That's interesting. So I was trying to find the sexy
Yeah,
picture.
the sexy picture.
You think the Banzo logo one?
no, I don't.
Does it help?
Oh, the ad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a picture? Maybe you just mix that.
I mix it up. So, I mean, I usually use the first ad.
I used to do that and I thought it
Yeah.
wasn't.
And maybe I put too much stuff in mine. I don't know. But I just try to put as much info as possible. And then I looked at Kisha's Craigslist last night, and she keeps hers really simple, just like a few words of text, and it obviously works for her as well.
So you know what was happening to me? I was putting the pricing, and then when I was going back to renew it, and it was so off, it was taking me extra time.
To do the pricing
That's
again.
the only thing I wish there was a different way to do it.
See,
There's 2 spots now you have to change it. In your verbiage, and then down below, you have to change it there too. So if you're trying to do one of those days where you're like, I just want to post and post and post and post really quickly without looking, you could be kind of shooting yourself in the foot because that price could be way off, like more expensive.
yeah, that's why I always put kind of,
I would make it like $100 like below what it
yeah.
usually is, to be honest with
But I really don't change pricing that much. Like, I always repost. I know no one really does that, but
I repost.
you,
And when they delete.
Andrea.
yeah.
Oh, they delete.
What?
Hey, it's Zach. Can
Where?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you repeat the questions? We're like getting half of the things that are said in the room. Just if somebody asks a question or has an idea or something like that, just either have them talking to your thing or just repeat it for me. That would be awesome.
Oh, have you come talk to, okay.
Well,
Yes.
on this part about pricing, and kind of take it back to, because I think there's some people tuning into this that haven't been doing this very long at all. What do we even do? We build the least expensive 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, if they have a 1-study, if they have a 3-bedroom. So just go through that. You don't necessarily always update your pricing as long as we're within that $50 to $100 mark.
Yeah.
It's okay. But just kind of go through the basics and then hit whatever she just asked and you answered maybe.
As a team, we always want to have accurate pricing. We don't want to. We don't want to just put low prices so someone will call you and it's a complete lie. I mean, I just think that's so shady. But yeah. So just try to do as accurate pricing as possible. And most properties, all their availability is online now, so you don't really even have to call. And then you can check ADS for specials. So you always have accurate specials. But when I do repost, I never change the price. I just change the move-in date.
That's all you do?
Yeah.
Can I get flagged?
No.
Okay. So you haven't been changing the price?
No, I don't even do that.
Well,
Well,
if somebody asks a question, you got to repeat it, so those people are like,
okay, what would you say?
talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
One at a time.
I usually change the price. I mean, I change something so it doesn't get deleted. So I usually do the price and definitely the move date.
yeah.
You're just
So
saying move date's plenty. Just change one thing and
yeah.
less likely to get flagged.
Yeah, like Heather thinks like changing something when reposting will prevent her from getting flagged, but really you just never know when you're going to get flagged, so just don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Just always make the move date accurate. Like sometimes I'll see some of our ads and the move date is like June 2nd and it's like December. I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I like your answer to that. That's dumb.
That's dumb. So just try to be as accurate as possible as a team so we look legit and we'll flow together and we'll make more money together.
But again, can you just reiterate what kind of ads do we build? How many do we build per property? Why are we building them? How do we do the pricing? Like you said, you go online and see it.
Okay, so I'll walk you through
you
like.
Be within $50 to $100. You don't have to be a Nazi when it comes to
No.
the exact pricing, and that's okay. Explain why, and maybe repeat that.
Okay. So when doing accurate pricing, I mean, this is just like, let's say I'm at home and I want to post some ads. I think of some. Give me a place that has accurate. Okay, so Herman Park. These are lofts in Houston. Marquee at Herman Park. And you can just, the price, just have it maybe 50 to 100 off, but just nothing drastic. Don't worry about it not being completely accurate, but just something close. But let's say I would just go to this website. And then I would look at their online availability.
They just choose.
So down. Why?
I couldn't even find their availability on there.
Is it not?
No, it's not on there.
Are you serious?
I don't think they've updated it.
You know who does have availability online? Is the Circle.
Yeah, the Circle does.
So when you're
You need to help me, Brian.
when you're looking online on the website for pricing, isn't that market, and then they don't put the specials on
Right.
there? So are you figuring your effective and then using the effective rate,
Mhm.
the lower rate, or the higher rate?
I'm using mostly effective and then lower.
So you can look on here to find the least expensive 1 and 2 bedroom and square
Mhm.
footage, right? And then you call the property, or you just know from looking on Yammer what the
I
specials
look at
are.
ADS, what the specials are.
Very good ADS or smart locating, which
Yeah.
can be accurate.
Smart
on
look,
that.
yeah.
And then everybody should know how, if not, get with somebody after this, how to figure the effective rate. And it's okay to use the effective rate to get people to call you, even if that's not what their rent's going to be. And if you're uncomfortable dealing with those kind of phone calls because it's not absolutely accurate, then you can explain in the body of the Craigslist ad, you know, this rate is what it will average a month over a year after all specials or
That's what I've
whatever.
been doing.
Some people are comfortable and not comfortable in how to do that. That's a training deal. That's something that you can be taught and get better at. But you always want to post the least expensive effective, because if you're posting market, right, even if you explain it in there, you're not going to show up in people's searches. So if I'm posting effective and you're posting market, and Andrew's looking for an apartment, finds both of our ads in our search, who's she going to call? So there you have it.
Oh, ta-da.
Okay. So we all should be posting this place because it's only 11:40.
That's Dallas price.
So amazing. So the studio is, we'll say it's 643 square feet. And we'll do a new posting. So housing offered, apartment, show my real email.
Beautiful. What is it?
I don't know.
Signs.
Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can hear me, we're posting one here at Herman Park, which is in this zip code, and like it's a studio, and I know it has a brick accent wall.
How'd you do those arrows? Is that what we already looked at?
It's just equal signs and whatever. Okay.
The greater sign.
Okay.
I can't do it.
So how much was it?
11:40.
6. And it was 643. This one does have a separate bedroom, so I'm going to do that. And then the move date was April 12th.
Studio. Just press the equal button and then
Then I'm going to go to my So here's my text for that property. I'm going to copy that. And then paste it here. What the?
Everybody's going to want to rate a Mac after this. What happened?
She just kind of pasted 2 properties.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Your eyes are pretty.
Focus straight.
What?
Museum district. Okay, duh. I don't know why it's split like
Pregnancy
this.
eyes.
Oh, that's what it's doing. Okay, so I'm just going to text a little bit of this. And paste. And then do the BR again. To space. And then
See this spot right here where it says specific location? Oh, here it is.
Oh,
That's it.
no, I'll go back.
So when people are searching, I've been putting in there, I've been putting like, let's say it's the museum district, right? I put museum district / inner
Yeah.
loop. Inner loop, right? Because that's an actual searchable box. So people sometimes, when I was moving to Houston, I didn't know about any of these districts. The only thing I know was the words inner loop. So when I was looking for an apartment, I searched on Craigslist and I searched the words inner loop, and I got anything that had inner loop written here or inner loop written here. So now I always put, let's say I put med center / inner loop on every single one of them.
So
I don't know if that works, but it was how I searched for a place. Granted, I ended up figuring out that there's Montrose and all, but all I knew was the words inner loop.
So did you guys hear that? So I think Sarah touched on this not too long ago, or I overheard her in a conversation with somebody. As locals, regardless of what city you're in, we all get used to calling all the neighborhoods what they are, right? The latest and greatest, we know what it's called, and that's how we identify with it. We cannot assume people relocating to our cities know all of that to that detail. So when Carolina was relocating here, she wasn't searching Montrose or Heights or Med Center. It was just straight up inner loop, and then she kind of learned the neighborhoods from that. So in any of the boxes that's searchable or specific location, I think you can type a crap ton of characters right here. So you can actually add museum district and probably put interloop in every damn one of them. But regardless, that's searchable, and the big box is searchable. So just keep in mind that when you're talking and you're wanting people to identify with you and or the neighborhood or lifestyle or whatever, don't think so much like a local. Think of someone that might not know all the details and then hit on that kind of stuff, and it could make a big difference in you showing up in people's searches.
Like a lot of the ads will have like all the neighborhoods at the bottom of their posting, so it's worth it, but I'm not. I don't. I did. I copied it on here one time. Like all the.
Yeah,
just come up here and say it.
Do you use the reference number in all of your ads? I made a bunch of ads without saying reference number, but then I see other people like habitation or whatever, and they all say. So let me just tell you why I think it might be important, and I might go and change all of mine.
But the ad says the reference number.
But I don't. But if that's only if you use the bamboo picture.
Yes.
So when I was looking for places, I thought that the legitimate ones said reference apartment number something, because I thought, oh, that must be really the apartment number. I'm sorry, it sounds dumb because we've all been doing this now, but I didn't know. So I was like, well, I'm not going to call this guy because he didn't say reference something. I don't know. Maybe that's something that people look at. It's one more thing you have to add in there.
So Carolina found value in properties. And
but if you only use that, if you don't use that for, which I didn't start using it for like 2 months after I was building ads, a lot of my ads don't have that.
So Carolina was relocating and found value in the ads when there was a reference number versus when there wasn't. Why do we use the reference number? So first of all, it's on the 4-picture ad. What do we call it? The banner ad. The reference number is in that, so you can always have someone scroll over and look at that image, or you could just put REF number, #, whatever the reference number. Why do we use a reference number? Is because we're marketing hundreds of properties, so when someone reaches out to you, fastest way to know what property they're talking about is get the reference number, and then you go to our Excel spreadsheet and you see it. So the value in having the reference number so you can identify the property that much faster when somebody reaches out to you. And then, in a nutshell, Carolina recently relocated, actually found value in it, looks more legit, more professional. So perhaps you use the reference number for a couple of reasons. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And then another thing, when you're posting to make it go by quicker, and I've done this in all the cities' Dropbox, when I do make an ad and I've gone through other folders, I always put the ad on to come up first. So when you can just shortcut and control all and post all the pictures in that order. So like this is the circle at Herman Park, which I don't even think I have because I never posted it. But Esplanade, okay, Esplanade. I have the pictures already in orders, so I don't have to go through and scroll like, oh, I want this one to be first, I want this one to be 8. So when I go to my folder of the Esplanade, I just do Control All. And then it's going to post in that order. So I never have to worry about...
Witchcraft. That is witchcraft.
Yeah. So if you go through all your pictures, and I've done it to Dropbox, I've made all the ads come up first.
That takes me to
yeah, so you're dragging and all that stuff. So, and then just put your business card at the end, and there you go. So that makes it flow. I know, I have a lot.
Nice. Do you find a difference or value in more or less pictures?
I like
all yours
more.
have a lot? Okay.
It just looks more legit.
See if anybody on there has anything to say so far. Anything they're doing or working on, or let them see your face. You're good. Let them see your face.
I don't know where. I think we only got Samita.
That's our stone, isn't it?
Does anybody have anything to add?
Yeah, it's like it's
Circled over there off.
the same as Archstone. Yeah.
I've been typing some notes as we go along in the chat box, just for people that maybe haven't been doing this for a few years, kind of, scaling it down a little bit. So hopefully, Zach and Brian Holt and you guys are watching the chat box too.
Oh, cool. Okay, thank you. And we heard you loud and clear. You recorded this, right? Is this being recorded?
Oh,
I don't know. I hope not. This is our first
yes,
one. We'll get better.
Yes, it's being recorded, and I
Andrea
think I
has
said
a lot of shit.
that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's definitely, if you have Mac users as opposed to, what is it? It's a huge difference in what you're doing. Can you even do a lot of this?
No, you
stuff?
do that on
You said
Windows.
you did all the shortcuts? Okay, cool.
It takes me a lot longer.
Okay, cool.
Pages, like,
No, right?
No.
It's minimized. You go to my desktop. Find the folder.
It's
Actually
It's
makes you
probably posting like 2 minutes.
So yeah, if you go in and you can create your own picture folder, or you can use Dropbox as well, but try to get them in order so when you are posting, it just flows a lot faster. It's not frustrating. You won't want to clean out your closet instead of posting like, oh, I hate this, you know, like, so that just makes it easier for me as well. Okay, come over here.
Oh, no.
Yes, we need you on film and everything.
Yeah.
Can I just talk loud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it better to, and I've heard people say this over and over again, is it better, what gets to the top faster, renew or delete and renew?
I never delete and renew, I just renew.
Until the renew runs out.
Until the renew runs out.
Then you delete and repost.
I never.
So you don't delete, it's for a while, deleting.
No, I'll just like start making new, and it just all flows.
Okay.
All right.
We're different.
So Heather brought up.
Thank you, Brian.
So in some markets, I don't know if anybody in Denver is on this call. You don't get flagged in Denver yet. Since I've been back in Houston, I have not been flagged. Knock on wood. No, I think Dallas probably still gets hit heavy. It's flagging is something we'll talk about another day or one-on-one or whatever. But in a nutshell, when you build an ad on Craigslist, after 48 hours, you get an option to renew that ad. Okay. People found that, or thought, or assumed, or in a desperate plea of trying to figure out why is my shit getting deleted. Well, maybe it's because I hit the renew tab. So instead of taking advantage of Craigslist allowing us to hit that renew, they'll go and delete and repost those ads. I say if you get the opportunity to renew an ad, take advantage of it because you're going to be able to get a lot of shit up on Craigslist in a very short period of time. And it's not a feature we've had for very long. Going back in the day, you always had to delete and repost. So when you get the opportunity to renew, you're going to get it 5 or 6 times per ad. Take advantage of it. So if you're worried about that's going to be a day or a morning of getting deleted or flagged, renew a couple of ads or just build a couple of really quick ads in the middle of follow-up or whatever and see if your shit sticks. If it sticks, go back and take advantage of that renew tab. Renew. Come back a little bit later to renew. When that renew runs out, obviously you got to delete and repost. You don't have to build a whole new ad again. And then you get the renew tab again after 48 hours, 5 or 6 times. So in a nutshell, if Craigslist now gives us the opportunity to renew, you can get a lot of shit done in a short period of time. Take advantage of it. It's not, 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you getting flagged by Craigslist, I promise. So again, before you just renewed a bunch of them and they all turn pink, just renew a couple of them, test the waters. It's like putting your foot in the water before you get in and see if it's too cold. Or just build a couple from scratch so you don't burn through a bunch of pinks. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, we can take any of that on a one-on-one deal or follow up with it later. But if you get the renew option, definitely use it. I would definitely use it.
Thank you.
And then also, I use this cute little bamboo picture as well. I think that's great. It's in Dropbox.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say, Carver had a question about ads getting flagged. And he says, do you think that ads get flagged more often if you have the same pictures in there, I guess, more than once?
No. I don't.
And then Brian Holt in Raleigh said he would super appreciate getting a copy of your ads just so that he can see what kind of language you're including in them.
Okay.
And so that's cool, but just remind everyone that you can also learn a lot by scrolling through the nice ads on Craigslist, whether it's a competitor, obviously there would be a competitor because nobody's doing this shit there. Well, I'm sure Zach already has an account with 300 ads in it, but you can also learn a lot from that too.
Like just, I mean, I just kind of go through Craigslist and just kind of see what I like, and just compare us to other companies. There's one in Houston called Apartment Gurus, and they're probably 30 out of 50 ads, and they offer rebates. They have no posters, just pictures, but I hate them. But I think when you do use the ad as the first picture, it just stands out.
So say that. So definitely use that. So
Yeah.
if we were all working as a team and putting out 50 to 100 a day, and we
Yeah.
all had the bamboo 4-picture thing first, every page all day, we would dominate. 9 out of 10 times, if that person doesn't click on your ad, they will go to our website, see that we're legit, fill out the form. So if everybody blows this shit up every day, it would be so much easier on us as a company to even round robin those leads because we see it all. We're blowing up. But what's frustrating is when one of us logs on here and the Amber says everybody's working and available and you don't see shit. Well, that's why the phones are slow. That's why the email is slow. So that is the fastest way. Even if someone's just browsing or window shopping, they're going to go to Bamboo's website. And again, that doesn't benefit us. It's still going to benefit you. You are the ones getting the business closed, so we're going to forward it to you. But this is the fastest way to make phones blow up and to make email or whatever completely blow up every day. So, Andrea, when you're on there every day and you're looking at other people's shit, do you really see Bamboo like it used to, just dominating in Houston?
No.
So that's an issue, and we'll talk about that another time. But we have to get better at this because the shit works. Ryan, tell them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of wanted to have this little meeting. I didn't know it was going to be air played. But, I mean, I just wanted to, just pick everybody's brain. And another thing, once you do get a reply from Craigslist, what do you do? And they say, what property is this? How do you handle that? You know, what do you do?
How to respond to
How to respond and how not to lose them. So this is what I've been doing, and it worked because I sent Brian this confirmation last night. So when I do get a Craigslist lead, I make a folder on the left. So this girl emailed me in January. So last night when we were beelining, I forwarded her a follow-up. And she said, yes, I moved in 2 weeks ago. But just because of these little folders are making me keep track of people more with Craigslist, because usually I just forget who they are, I forget about them. So when she did email me, she emailed, I forgot, but she had a low budget. So when I sent her an email, this is how detailed I said, hi, and I list all these properties, and then I highlight what's available for her move date, and then at the bottom, so lately there's so many builds in Houston, and I'm losing business to stuff I didn't really put on the list. So now I'm saying over budget, so listing all these others so they kind of avoid those. So I'm getting really good. I just have to keep trying, because they're just different.
The vicinity of this.
Because people have told me, oh, but I found this.
Yeah.
And I knew about it, but I didn't because it didn't fit their price.
Right, because people are
That's a really good idea.
yeah. So I've been putting that, and that's been helping me.
Covers your life based on one across
Yes.
the street.
Well, you might be
Exactly.
surprised how they can find an extra $150 in their budget.
Oh yeah, it happens when they stumble into that one across the street.
Yes.
Like I just checked on screen.
Did I delete?
So super quick on that. So when we first started doing this in Houston and in Dallas, there were a lot of properties to choose from. Today, it's an insane amount of properties to choose from. I think they've had at least 3 or 4 rounds out here where they put up 50 of these things at the same time within a 6-mile radius, right? So before you could build a list of 10 to 12, 15 properties. You're going back and forth with the client. You narrow it down to 4 to 6. Their home finding trip date comes along. You snag them from the hotel, and you're off to the races, right? How soon can I get to the Mexican food place and drink margaritas with Elise? So today, and this also, I think what Andrea is showing us on this email, when we can't be with all of our clients, so we're trusting them to go in and put down our name and all that, what happens is, and we could kind of prevent this in the past because you could still build that list of 10, 15, 12 places, whatever it was, and you could literally say in there, this one isn't necessarily my favorite because of this, or this one's more my favorite because of that, and you're covering your tracks. Well, now you build your list of 10, 12, or 15, but they could still stumble in across the street at any of these given properties that you think is the best fit for them, and work out for them, right? And they're like, oh, I just leased there. So you don't get credit for it, right? Because you put it on the list. So what Andrea is doing is the list contains what she thinks is the best, but then she's going down and just, you know, with less detail, but still covering her tracks, you know, and basic information. So if this only worked 1 out of every 3 times, well, then you get an extra few leases a month. That can be a big difference.
It worked twice.
Okay, so cool. So kind of a cool thing to do without making your list 50 properties. And I literally just put in someone on a follow-up or on a deal. I was like, hey, listen, man, let's just start with these and get a conversation going, because until we kind of start playing off of each other and what kind of gets you excited and what doesn't, I can make you a list of 100 properties and your eyeballs are going to fall out. You know, he goes, oh, it's funny, you know, blah, blah. But it's true. I mean, a list for people today could be 100, I mean, and to cover your ass. But we got to figure out creative ways to really sell what we think is best, and I'm sure it's always based on commission, right? Yeah. And then we're covering our butts on the back end by adding that into the email.
And it's funny because a couple weeks ago, a lady emailed, and I sent her a list, like very detailed, like this one. And then at the bottom, I put like Gables Post Oak, don't even bother, there's cranes everywhere. And she ended up leasing there, but she put my name down because I had it on the don't bother. So, like, it's starting to work for me. But this is an example of after I get a Craigslist lead, this girl wanted something below $1,200, so I think of stuff in the loop, and I already have these pre-made, so it's much easier for me. And then lately I've been inserting the floor plan. You can just copy the image and insert it into your email. And this girl ended up leasing. I followed up with her last night. So I didn't even meet her. It took me 3 minutes to do this, and I made $1,800. You know, so.
But when you get that email versus some of ours, and if we're all going to grade ourselves, you can build a shit ton of value in this email. It looks like this person did a lot of effort and work on your behalf. And you don't have to worry about that person going, well, you know what, did they really even earn their money? Why would they put down the name? It's value, and it's good value. You know what I'm saying? So. And
like this, I mean, Postman Town Square, I Snapchatted, or not Snapchat, I snipped it and then just inserted it, but look how beautiful that is. And then at the end, I always put this I got from Kisha. That, I mean, that's just.
They're probably walking into the property with that one up.
Yeah. Right.
We have a couple questions on chat too. Do you want me to read those out?
Yeah, hey, 2 seconds. Definitely read them out. But Ryan just said something important, and this kind of goes with what Drea just said. And I learned this from Allison Coy back in the day, who worked at a property and then worked for us, and then married the man of her dreams in Vegas. But anyway, I don't know. But she did eat a hot dog one time. That was impressive.
Oh, I watched.
So Ryan said they're probably walking into the property with this pulled up on their screen, which was different than. This goes to show you how fast technology has grown, because when Allison shared this with us back in the day, which was probably only a handful of years ago, she goes, be careful what you write about other properties, because people, when she worked at a property, they would print that shit out and just bring it in and set it down. Well, that agent starts laying stone, like, well, why would you live there? It's full of cockroaches and you know, bad plumbing. So the kicker is, if you're confident, you say whatever you want to say about properties. I think the safest thing to do, based on if they got it on their phone, if they got it in their head and they're going to regurgitate it, or they printed it out and they just set it down places, be more on the side of upselling certain properties as opposed to downselling certain properties. Does that make sense? So be real careful. Think about whatever you're writing. If Jim or Jenny or whoever at some property reads that, what are they going to think about you, and bam, boom. So,
unless they're candidates and say whatever they want.
Let's Sarah.
Okay, here's a couple of questions.
Yes, I usually do.
If that's okay. Sorry, there's a little delay in hearing it play through your side. Blake Phillips asked the question, do you try to get people on the phone ASAP even if they have not listed their phone number in the initial email?
I don't like the phone. It's gross. I just hate it. I'm not comfortable on it, so I use email for everything. I mean, of course I'm going to call someone if they said, well, you can call me, you know. But no, I try to do it this way.
Yeah, I would say in my experience, if you communicate with people the way that they've already reached out to you, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah. And most young people email anyway. They don't even know how to use it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, ask questions. So I'm glad Blake asked that because we've obviously worked with a bunch of different agents, and you can pick out the ones that are stronger on the phone. And what I would encourage those folks, first of all, in sales, that's awesome. That level of aggressiveness and confidence and just wanting to get on the phone and hammer this shit out, that's where we all kind of really want to be. But be respectful or mindful to, just like what one of these guys said, originally when they reach out, you want to exactly mirror them, right? So don't start pushing, let's get on the phone or give me your damn phone number. Just make it's a soft approach. And then as you start getting into more detailed shit, what you can do is, hey, would it be easier if we just knock out a 5-minute phone call, or would it be easier if you just email me these details I'm looking for in order to best help you? And then that kind of softens it up. But if I'm like Andrea, I prefer to just keep rolling through, whether it's email, if it's text, I can get it over to email. I'll offer up the phone call. I definitely always get a phone number because I let them know, the day we're going to meet up or whatever. I want to be able to send you a text, or when I send you a list, I want to be able to text you, let you know you got it in your inbox. So that's a good question, Blake. Definitely get people's phone number, but in the beginning, mirror exactly how they reached out and then go for that little more aggressive approach.
There's another question from Blake. He wanted to know how many properties you send on that first list. I've always suggested 8 to 12 properties. Andrea, what do you think? How many properties do you usually send first go around?
If it's a great budget, I try to send as many as I can. But when it's a low budget, it's usually like maybe 6 to 8. I guess it just depends. But a lot of the times now, I'm not really, I make a list in Smart, but I copy the link from Smart and just put it in an email.
Why do you do that?
I don't send from Smart.
Okay.
Just copy the link. I don't know. I'm just getting more personal. Everything's changing, and you have to.
How do you copy the link?
Copy the link in Smart Locating is. Mm-hmm. So Smart.
Do you use notes for property in Smart Locating? That's something we'll probably want to
I was gonna.
I don't know if everybody uses it or not. This will probably be for another day. But within Smart Locating, for every property that you put on a lot of lists, there's a section where you can put notes, and Andrea says she does use that. She's showing you right here. So you can actually get funny with this stuff too, and change colors and shit. We learned that a while back. So if you use these notes, you can be kind of upselling and semi-downselling or not playing up as much certain properties. So while the best list is probably what Sarah said, 10 to 12 or whatever the hell it is, but the fact that there's just so damn many now on every corner between here and a mile up the damn street, to cover your ass, you can make the list a little bit bigger, but I think that you can drill down, narrow down in using those notes per property, and it looks more personal and it builds more value, and it looks like you took more time. Why is this on my list? And you're kind of putting it, maybe you just could read them out an example or something.
Yeah, so this is the notes section over here for Smart for just Houston and Dallas, really. But at the bottom, this is the notes that are permanently going to stay there, so you really don't have to type anything else. But people really appreciate your comments because most locators just send you a list. So I really got into that. And and then also you can add our little videos, which I can help anyone here in Houston. It's not hard. So that's the video to the property, so they can just click. So yeah, so if I was to do a link, you know how when you email
I think we need to get Andrea a Harry Potter t-shirt.
I know.
We ain't seen nothing yet, though. She's got a lot under the hood.
Can you read the last commercial for Andrea? Is there any way to embed the video link into a Craigslist ad?
Yeah.
Is it hard?
No.
Like, I wanted to say, like, click here for the video, but not a bunch of programming.
Oh, now it's a bunch of programming. But if you share it on YouTube, it's only about this big. Like you can get it really small now.
What do you mean, like?
You don't even have to embed. It doesn't do that really. You just spit it out and say click here for a virtual tour, and it'll just be right there. Like I'll show you in a minute. But this is the property report link, and to copy it, you would just highlight it and say copy link, and then I would paste it into an email. Yeah.
And then that gives you the link.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But look, but when you send a list, you can check copy me and it sends you anyway. So what a lot of people do, what works. So every time you send a list to a client, if you check copy me, right here in the right-hand side, if you click this, you're going to get the email as well. And then a cool thing to do if you've got their phone number in the phone conversation or if it's an email, that's a perfect opportunity without looking like a slimy person to shoot a little text and just be like, hey, it's Andrea, we just talked. Check your inbox, just want to make sure you get that list. You can do that, or you can take the copy that came into your inbox, forward it to the client, and just say, hey, in some cases, because the link in this, email or whatever, it can get tossed into a spam or bulk folder, so I thought I'd forward you my copy, see below. Hey, thanks, man, I did get it. I'll go through it, and I'll get back to you. But so copy me or whatever you just do with that list. But that's a good way to start texting with somebody and or after you send the list, just assume they didn't get it, and you keep the conversation going by going, just want to make sure you got it. And they're like, that really gets it going.
And in Smart, you can personalize it. So all these are stuff that I've kind of copied Brian that I liked and Kisha's stuff. But like when you send a list, like this is usually what I press when I first send a list to a client, and it automatically populates with like all, because a lot of these prices in Smart aren't accurate. So I learned the hard way with that. So now I just kind of disclose it. So I don't really. If they go to a property and like, oh, it says 1,100, but it's 13, and they might get pissed off and they'll call you, and that used to happen a lot. So now I put that in the list, and then I do offer tours and blah blah blah. So you can just create when you personalize your Smart like different, like if they don't know what area they're going to be in, I would do multiple areas, stuff like that. So if they're working with another locator, I have a conflict email. So you just don't have to stress yourself out.
But we shouldn't give up just because we're working with somebody else.
Yeah, I know.
Like, can you explain that?
What did I say?
It's cool when you say conflict. If it's an internal conflict, deal with it. The best person needs to help clients, the best for the client. If it's someone with another company, I heard somebody the other day say, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. That's too passive. It's step away. You need to do whatever it takes to earn the business, and if you see that you're not going to earn it, then bell. But you got to at least freaking try. And odds are, just because someone else helped them, it doesn't mean they're any better or give them what they want. Yeah, so that should never be a deterrent to give up or walk away.
Yeah, so when people call from Craigslist, like what do y'all usually do? Or email.
Email?
Like when they say, oh, what is this property, what would you say? And then you never hear from them again. So how can we,
I give them a lot of information, and it works and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I write. If they're asking about a particular property, I give them the name, and I don't hide the name because they're going to find it anyways.
Yeah.
I give them the name, and I tell them what I like about the property and what's in that neighborhood that makes that property cool, what's similar to that property. And sometimes it works, and sometimes people are like, oh my God, they're probably like, this is too much information, or maybe I don't know enough. But I give them everything.
Sarah can answer that a little bit too. So Sarah, somebody emails you. I know you'd have to go back in time for this, but we'll pretend for the sake. Somebody emails you and says, where's this property located? That's all they said. They replied to your Craigslist ad. You got all that beautiful information in there. And then all they say is, where is this located? What's your very first response? Because a lot of people or a lot of agents come back with what could be a lot of information. How do you respond to a very short-winded, original question to get the ball rolling?
And like with the client the other day, he wasn't able to make it down here.
Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay from when I say it and when I hear it playing back there. So if I pause at weird times, that's why. Whenever somebody emails about a certain property, what I do is I answer them, this is a fantastic property located near the intersection of Kirby and Westheimer in the Upper Kirby district. And then I talk about the building amenities and why I like it. And then I say, if you're interested in this building, I'll send you the floor plans for your move date. When are you planning to move? And then they get enough information to think she's doing her job by answering my question, and then I ask another question because that's what starts a conversation going back and forth.
Correct. So did you get that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And your email.
Yeah, so this is something that we could probably really hone in on sometime doing this. So I totally agree with that, and I think most people would. And there's definitely, I don't want to say there's a right and a wrong way, but if an agent, if you're on this or you listen to it later and it's recorded, if you're not having the results you want and you're frustrated or you're throwing in the towel or you're just pissed off at the fucking world, by all means, reach out to somebody that's been doing this for a minute. There's not going to be anyone that's going to give you a better answer than Sarah. I'm not too shabby myself. Andrea and Kisha probably bleed Craigslist more than all of us put together. The resources, the tools, the experience is here right now. So if Sarah and I were having a conversation yesterday, and I won't get off track here, but it's like I think people really have an issue talking about close ratio, or how many people am I working with, how many people are leasing. And I think it's an uncomfortable topic, but it's only uncomfortable if maybe you're lost in all of this, you feel frustrated, or you feel rejected. When people just disappear, when people just don't ever respond, that should happen every once in a blue moon, but it shouldn't be a constant thing. So if that's happening to anybody, you got to talk that out with someone that's willing to help you, and then actually be willing to listen and make the necessary changes. But we could definitely, probably all of us, learn something new and or get better at how to respond when people, like a web lead response is completely different, in my opinion, than a Craigslist response. Giving too much information, not enough information, making the person on the other end feel like they're answering my question, but they're not giving me everything I want, but they're following up with another question. You get something going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's how you gain a client. That's how you turn a prospect into a client. You don't, just because somebody reaches out to us doesn't mean we already got a lease. You know what I mean? So it's a baby step kind of thing, but I totally agree, and I think you would too. And
what?
With how would you answer?
Yeah,
if somebody just says, how do you personally answer? If somebody goes, where's this located?
Yeah.
No, you. What do you say?
What's your sign?
What's your sign?
That's why I'm here. I wanted to talk to everybody about what they would say. I would say this property offers lofts once you're moved in. Something like that. Yeah. So, but it's just to get them to reply back. I would not give them the name of the property yet.
Right. And you certainly.
Hey guys. Can I chime in for a second?
Yes.
One question that I found that's really easy to ask is, what information can I give you that you haven't found online? And because you assume that everyone's looking online, and usually it's a really open-ended question that people are like, well, I want to know about garages, or I want to know about dogs. Like, it's a pretty vaguely specific, however you want to say it.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. That's why.
That's finding a need and then meeting it. And if you're doing that, you're doing it with the internet and what you might have are not finding a need and then meeting.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this. Just it's different. And I wish Toby was here because I would really enjoy that.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. So any other, like, what do y'all do when someone replies? But just like, what is this, or where is this located?
I usually just start off by telling them what I do. Like, I'm a locator, and so I can send you to a lot of different properties. It's not just this one specific property I work with. And just that way I can start sending them more information.
So is that, do you find that? So Robert says that when he gets, regardless of what the question is, or it can be multiple questions, he first starts out with kind of explaining what he does and who he is. So
and then I'm free.
So not to bust your balls, and clearly you get leases. if you do that with 5 people or 10 people or 20 people, hypothetically speaking, are you getting the dialogue and response going with as many of those people as you would like?
I think I could probably be better at it because I probably only close about 60% of the leads.
So to get into the whole who I am, what I do, I wouldn't tell anybody not to do that. I think, in my opinion, and Sarah might have a better answer to this or somebody else, there's a time for that if you want to get into that. In the beginning, if you can provide value, be fast, get something going back and forth, and that usually is answering a little bit of their question, leaving them with another question, getting them to respond, and you kind of baby step that up to the list. There are folks that if they perhaps pitch that message, where is this property located, they immediately take, what's your email address, put them in smart locating and send them a list. Well, that's me going to a store and, kind of asking for a black shirt, and then they take me around and show me the red, white, and blue shirts. And I might want to buy those, but first I need to kind of knock out what I came in there for. So, and then and Sarah has a beautiful way of wording this too. You have the person that walks into the store, the person who works there, and they're like, here's all this, or let me know when you're ready, or they just ignore you. If we think of ourselves in kind of a retail environment, even though it's kind of virtual, you're building a relationship. You want to build rapport. You want to get something kind of going back and forth. And at first, all that means is be responsive faster than anybody else. Let a little personality shine. Let some value shine. Let some good information shine. But keep it simple, right? It's like meeting somebody for the first time. You don't just go, it's nice to meet you, and then stick your tongue down their throat, right? I mean, you might do that if you're in a bar and it's 3 in the morning, but you have to think about holding hands before you kiss. You have to think about kissing before jumping in the sack. So this is kind of the same thing. Like, yeah, you do. You want to baby step this thing along. You can't just, here's my hand, shove it down your pants. Like, you got to sit there and you got to build some value. So I think you do that by these little stepping stones and how you communicate. And don't put too much out there at once and get dialogue going back and forth. This does no good for us to read them a damn novel and then go, I don't need that, and then they disappear. You know what I mean? So there's probably things that we.
Yeah, it's like there's definitely some psychology to it, and that's why I think we should maybe like once a month in Houston, like just brainstorm of what's working for us and what's not. I think that would be really helpful for everybody. Do you agree?
Guys, can you hear me for a second? Okay. It's the meetup. My hardest part is when they call and we have lots of ads being posted, but I found a way to kind of, since I can't remember every ad, if they ask, hey, I saw your ad on Craigslist and it's in Plano, I say, okay, thanks for calling. I have a few ads going out there. It's either Alta or Northside. What is it that you're looking for? And then I kind of give them a name, not the exact one, and it might be those, but they start talking. Then they start telling me what they need.
That's good too. Yeah, because usually I'm like,
Because I never know. I I'll know them if I write them down, but they'll call and I can't remember, and I'm like, all right, I know the 2 properties that I like the most, and I mention those, and then I figure out what they need. And then kind of breaks apart, tell me what property this is. I only want this property. It really helps.
Tell her that everybody's agrees.
Yes. What else? Oh, Zumper. You want to go to Zumper now, or anybody else have any questions about Craigslist?
This is Sarah. Can I just say one more thing about Craigslist?
Yes, of course.
So it's not rocket science. It takes patience and persistence. You have to post every day over a period of time. And if you respond fast within 5 minutes, you've got a way better chance to get it than if you respond after an hour or after a day. And if you ask a question in every email so that you're starting a dialogue that goes back and forth, it's a lot better than sending a novel and getting a novel back, because then the conversation's over. And if you respond within 5 minutes, and if you strike up a conversation that's going back and forth, you're probably going to get the business, because the next person is going to take an hour to respond, or God forbid all day, and they're going to send a novel, and they didn't have a conversation. And then don't be afraid to reverse stalk people. because you can definitely learn a lot of information from their public profiles online, Facebook or whatever else, and use it to your advantage.
What is the best time? Will they get the most?
I feel like I get more response if I post after 3.
So
When people get off work, they go home, they start looking for apartments. I think if you post later in the day, you're more likely to have more ads show up at the time.
I think I've been said that from 11 to 2 was the time people were going to lunch, and so we were on the computers checking things out when we were at work.
Yeah, they're definitely on there. So the question was, is there a time, or what's the best time to post on Craigslist? So here's the deal. Let's say we all knew that answer. Let's say it was 11 to 2. Out of 30 of us, is everybody in here, or excuse me, everybody here going to be available to post from 11 to 2 every day? No. So what does your schedule look like? If you're leaving the house, if you're meeting someone at a property at 9:30 a.m., then you have until 9 o'clock that morning to post ads on Craigslist, right? Should you post ads on Craigslist before you go on a tour? Absolutely, yes. How am I going to respond? How am I going to respond, as fast as I could if I was in? You worry about that when it happens. Every other place you step away to use the restroom or get water or whatever the hell, right? You're not ignoring your client or whatever. You step away, check your phone really quick, send just a small little blurb or whatever, of, hey, got your message, wrapping up with a client or, whatever. Sound busy, sound successful, sound fun, sound happy. Man, I'm totally at a property just like the one you're responding to with a client. I think we're about to knock this thing out. I can't wait to share it with you later. Like, be enthusiastic. Let people know that you're freaking working, that you do this shit, and then they're going to pick up on that energy, that personality, and they're going to be like, that's the person I want helping me. You know what I mean? So post when you can. So when you come back later and you have morning, afternoon, and evening. If your schedule allows you to post in all of those time frames, by all means do it. But you should post every day, literally. Literally. Yeah. Carolina, next question.
When you renew from your phone, like sometimes I'm waiting on someone and I'm just hitting renew off my phone.
Okay.
I feel it works, but I feel like I got flagged because nothing else.
You get flagged a lot?
No, only this.
Oh.
It was really weird. I do it from my phone all the time.
And it just happened one time?
It happened once. Do you guys post from your phone or no?
I never.
I don't. I usually do it on my computer, but you can do it on your phone.
I'm waiting on someone. I have 15 minutes and they're late. I'm posting.
Better than not. Yeah, I mean.
I post on my phone a lot.
Did we cover that? What was the question?
I post on my phone a lot.
Zoning.
No, people use that. Whether it's I've seen them doing it in here. Whether it's what do you call these things?
It's just the renewal.
iPad.
I can't post an action.
iPad, phone, whatever. Yeah, post. However, by whatever means you own or have, or in the time you have allotted to do it, just do it. But if you think about 50 to 100 ads a day, and you think of the renew tab, right? Between whatever time you get up in the morning, and it probably should be even earlier. I'm just kidding. It'll change your life. You can do it then. You can do it in the afternoon. You can do it before or after tours, follow up, whatever. You're always increasing your chances, and then just be available. I think a lot of people sit down, and whether this subconsciously is happening or whatever, they think that I'm allotting myself this time to do this, and I think they're expecting the results in that same time. Because after that, the rest of the day is already planned out, whether it's personal or business. It just can't work like that. You're putting out there to the world to see this huge for sale sign, or special, or come check me out. Look, and then people are in all different time zones. They're responding from all over the country or even outside of the country. So you have to always just say, I have to be available to respond to people, no matter who you're with or what you're doing. I don't think it has to eat into that time, but some sort of little response should be priority. And then people will respect that. I started talking to a guy the other night, kind of late at night, and he goes, hey, man, just real quick, before you send me anything else, it's already going on 10 o'clock, whatever. I would feel completely guilty if you were to do this tonight. This can totally wait till in the morning. And I was like, oh, man, I really appreciate that. You know what? I will send that to you in the morning. And it was like, good night, good night. And so it's like, it's a conversation, and it's not rocket science, but sometimes we get, kind of tunnel vision, or try to get to the exit before we get through the entrance, and it's a gradual thing, and anyway, something like that.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
We're dealing with.
Andrea, how long do you wait to tell them about
What?
How long do you wait to tell them about the property, like when they ask for the property?
Like how long do I wait before telling them the property name?
Yeah.
I guess they just kind of fill them out. Sometimes people, when they're too greedy and they're just like, I don't even respond back to them.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of have to learn who to, spend time on and who not to spend time on.
So you should be able to get their move date. So
Yeah.
the question was, how long do you wait to give them the name of the property?
Yeah.
So say this is one of those kind of aggressive question type people. They're not interested in a list.
Yeah.
They're making it sound like to us on that original email, dude, this is for me. So without you just going, that's Upper Kirby, I'd love to help you, and they disappear, you go back through a couple questions. The huge one is move date or pets. You can throw that question out early on in everything, no matter what comes out. Before I send you information that doesn't apply to you or whatever, so I can hit a home run here, so I can get you exactly what you're looking for. When's your move date? And I'll send you the specific floor plans, the exact pricing, and double confirm any specials, even the ones they're not talking about on the website. And let me get right back to you. When they give you a move date, if it's tomorrow or this weekend, next weekend, you can assume that they're looking now. Like it's the middle of the day and they're kind of being aggressive. Is this something you have time to look at today at lunch? If so, I'll get on the phone with Mandy. We'll get it set up. I'll meet Joe. You see what I'm saying? Like you can be as aggressive too. But before you just throw out the name, hey, it'd be easier if I shot this to you on email. What's your email? If they call or whatever, But you get the information, ask a question, and then say, if you're looking today or if you're looking this weekend, let me make you an appointment. You see what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, that'd be great. Great, I'll send you all the information on email, and it's where you're going to meet, who's going to be helping you, whatever. And you meet them over there.
Yeah.
So, but if you're right, if they just go, what's the name of this property, and you go, Alexa or, Westheimer, and there's like later,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're already on the phone, Googling it, whatever. You got to find a way to answer, build value, ask a question, answer, build value, ask a question. To where, and again, one out of a big number just runs away. If we do it right, or do it better, do it the best we can, odds are they're not going to say this person's helpful and trying to help me and then run from us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the last thing I would say would be, think about this. When people reach out and ask us questions, we're not the only one they're reaching out and asking questions to. They're probably sitting there, like Carrie said, and it's before or after their lunch break, and they don't want to be at work, and they're thinking about the apartment that they're going to move into. So they're tooling around on Craigslist because it's the #1 website in this country that people go to for rentals, Craigslist.org. They're tooling around on there, and they're asking questions. And what happens is they start getting, answers back, whether it's from the property directly, because properties are on Craigslist, we're on Craigslist, people that think that they're like us are on Craigslist. They're all responding in different ways that could be agitating to the prospect, right? So if they're already agitated from some idiot, right, whether it's at a property or one of our competitors, that's the reason I think that the longer they're tooling around on Craigslist, they're getting more and more agitated, and that's why you'll get some of the emails where they're more demanding or just, look, I don't give a shit about anything else, just give me that. Try to soften them up. If you don't win them, you move on. That's why you post a lot, so you talk to a lot. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. I have a question. A lady reached out regarding an ad, and it was legit. It was like $20 more than the quote, but it was ready and available. Yeah, it was perfect, and I emailed her back and got a response in return from her. And then I went ahead and just because I thought, okay, she's going to disappear, I went ahead and sent her the link to West 18th because I hadn't heard back in 2 days, and I just said, here's this link. This is, this is what you inquired about off my Craigslist. Still haven't heard from her. So do I just, I'm done?
Yeah, y'all are over.
Over, okay.
So where do you think that kind of went wrong?
I don't know. I wrote her back and said, yeah, it's a great
But you think that she didn't get back to you because the difference in price was $20 a month. Just subconsciously, that's what you're thinking. You could be right, or you might not be.
Right. But, I mean, just not to get back to me. And I emailed her back, and I really do try that. I mean, I really work on that. But I try to.
I want to know your move date and if you got any pets, whatever, so that I reach out to one of my agents or I reach out to, the manager that's on my speed dial or whatever, right? You want to sound important. You don't want to sound like an idiot, but you want to sound important. I think Sarah had a joke a long time ago that a guy had called into the office and was like, I need to talk to Brian Jones. Well, he's not here. No, I need to talk to Brian Jones. I'm at this property, and I walked in, and the agent, he said, is going to take the best care of me, Jeremy. He's at lunch. I came back to my car. What do? I built value. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't going to make a move without me and or Jeremy, right? So is that going to happen every time? No, but you can build up to that. It can get close, okay? So the kicker is, she reaches out, you get back in the price difference by $20. It's different, right? It's more. And then you're thinking, oh no, she's going to be upset or this isn't going to work out. $20, no one's going to, yeah. So what you can do in that, if we ever get someone that reached out about a property and the difference in price comes out more than what our ad said, ask that property every kind of special there is. So if the upfront costs normally $400, $500, and they have everything waived but $49 app fee, take all that value, all right, so $500, divide it out by the lease term, and effectively do it. So the rate came back for your move date. It changed the price point by a hair. Yeah. It came out to this, but they're doing 2 weeks prorated, 2 weeks upfront, and they're waiving the deposit and the admin fee, which is a value of $550. If you divide all this shit out, it actually comes out to over each month, over 12 months, actually comes out less than what my ad said. Yeah. But this is what it's going to look like after all your prorate and all your 2 weeks upfront. So you spell it all out. Yeah. You reduce to the ridiculous. And then they see all this and they're like, oh, I'm available to go look tomorrow.
Right. Okay. That's
Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. That is awesome. Okay.
But listen, when we get into these situations, me, Sarah, whoever is in this leasing game, right, that's been doing this for a minute, any of you guys, today or tomorrow, guys and gals, when you get into these situations, don't wait until it's over. Start talking about this stuff in the moment with someone that they're not any better than you or having any better than you or making more money than you or whatever the hell it is. Just get other people's feedback in the moment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we can learn and possibly have a higher close ratio in the moment. We're not looking back going, I wish I would have done that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I mean, we were together and I asked her there, what worked out.
So what does that look like super quick? You get a lead and you don't know how to respond or you want to respond differently. Humble yourself. Forward the damn thing to somebody. Shoot them a text and go, if you got a second, check out that email. What would you say? If it's me, I give you the reply. You can use it word for word or change it all you want. In that moment, the idea of that is to learn something new and to apply it now and or down the road. I think we all get in ruts when things don't go our way. We start, and clients feel this. If you take on a new lead and you're frustrated from the way you've been treated or think you've been treated the 2 or 3 times before, dude, they feel that. Yeah. It's negativity, it's insecurity, it's whatever the hell it is, and we become pushy, we become standoffish. We can avoid that, I think, if we talk it out with someone and then get help. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I had a sales class, and when they talked about if you have a bad day, don't make calls. Because they said, hold a mirror to your face, and that face that you're giving off, people can see it, even though you're talking on the phone.
That's true.
So
that's true.
And they always say, like, if you're having a bad day, give yourself an hour, because that person's gonna feel you're like, okay, when are you moving? And what's the point?
That's true.
I'd like, okay, thank you, and that'll be it. You know.
That's true.
So hold the mirror always.
Hold the mirror. Hold the mirror.
I drive around with one all the time.
That's dangerous.
Ask Sarah if there's any questions on there.
Any more questions?
How do we make millions?
Millions.
I think, Zach wrote that maybe we should write a list and questions and then see what everyone's reply would be, just kind of as a reference.
That. Dude, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
So we pose certain questions and then get everybody's feedback.
Yeah,
nice.
What would Jesus do?
We can put all that shit to a vote and then we'd all feel good about it. You know
I think so.
Like this sounds like it worked the best.
Yep.
Is Virage still doing 8 weeks? Virage.
6.
6.
So, is that it?
I had something else in offer now.
Well, I think Samita's the only one over there watching.
This is good. I really learned a lot of tips.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody got
There's like 8 or 10 people on the call. They may not be on the video, but they're still on the call.
So, Sarah, do you have anything? Did we hit on anything? Drake, did you think of anything?
No.
Is there any ideas that we could throw out for a next one of these? Maybe we try to keep them under an hour or something, and we focus on like one thing, or 30 minutes and focus on one thing. Any ideas? Okay, Zumper, so that's probably.
You guys want to learn Zumper?
I don't know what's
Everybody knows.
Is Zumper like
I
Post-its?
do, like a plastic.
Is Zumper like Post-its?
Huh?
Is Zumper like
Created
Post-its?
like that, what, a year ago?
Super easy.
No.
You want to just let them know you're bouncing over to Zumper for a minute? And is Samita still on the call? Because you have to help with that too.
I'm still
right
here.
now?
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
Separate stuff.
Zumper's super easy. You sign up for an account. I think you have to put that you're a realtor.
Yes.
But how I know Zumper works is because when I'm doing ads for Dallas and I need to steal pictures, I'll Google a certain property and Cody's freaking picture comes up on walkscore.com. Yeah, it's so weird. So I've been doing it a lot more lately. It's super I mean, it's not like Craigslist. It's very flowy and easy and just really cool. And like right now is a good time to post like for medical people because the fellowships start. So last night I did a lot of medical center stuff on Zumper. But this is all it looks like. You just like Craigslist, you kind of walk through when you say to create a new listing, and it syndicates to all these major websites.
Do you feel that Zumper is better than, like,
No.
no? So this is something to work on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets your name out there. You know, I do get leads off Zumper, but and when I do, they're really high, like good budgets.
Exactly.
But they're still kind of hard to close too, because that website gives you so much information. Like it names the properties. Like there's little on the map. There's little houses, and you just click on it, and it's like, oh, this is the venue. So like they don't really need you anymore. You know, like it's just a lot of information.
Okay.
So
Something to build with time.
it's something to build with time and to get your name out there. Just like when I Googled and saw Cody, you know, walk score.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it can't hurt, and it's super easy to post, so it's not a headache, and I just use the same verbiage I do for Craigslist and just do the same thing. So all you would do is just like create a new listing, and then one thing it does is it makes you put in the property address. So like we'll do Elon. Oh yeah, so Elon Memorial Park. Is freaking awesome. So it's at 920 Westcott. So I have to put 920 Westcott. And then I'm always clicking only display intersection. And then I'll put Washington Ave. And it's going to say that it's too far from the specified address, but I don't care, and I'm going to continue. I don't think that makes a difference. I used to be scared of that, but I can still continue without any issues.
Okay, so I see. Add photos, you add the text. Okay.
And then Elon Memorial Park, Control All.
Control all. That's like beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fabulous.
There's more sign
Yeah, and I need to put my business card on that one.
Is it Control All or Control Alt? Control Alt.
Command A on the Mac, and I think for Windows it's like Select All. If you go to Edit and click Select All, you'll see the shortcut. I forgot what it was, but there is a shortcut. then continue, and let's say this place is super freaking expensive, so we'll start. And then the description, I think I made one.
The cable guy needs money.
I don't think I made one yet.
Well, he's installing my cable. I didn't have to leave him a check.
I don't think I made one.
See, bud.
So that's good for me.
Oh, amazing. I like that.
Yeah.
See that?
And then,
Oh, amazing.
I just list what it
I should
offers.
just put AH. Space amazing.
Oh, okay.
Making up our own language. Brain language. Straight out of Harry Potter.
Yeah, straight out of Harry Potter. And then I always put the most, I'll put 13 monthlies, or 13 to 18 is what I've been putting.
Is Sarah still on while you're building that? Sarah, did you say Zumper, if Craigslist ever does take a dive or a dip, aren't these guys making a strong push to be the next Craigslist? Or is that somebody else?
According to the billboard.
Oh, the billboard. So.
So
And then on the
Craigslist
last page where it
was
says
born in San
activate, you
Francisco.
don't have to do anything. That's it.
Sorry, real quick. Craigslist is from San Francisco, and so is Zumper. And Zumper, over time, has taken 40% market share from Craigslist apartment rentals in San Francisco. And in that city, you have to pay to advertise on Craigslist, so they're able to track it a little bit more closely. They have already rolled out across the whole country, but are going market by market advertising to drive renters to their website, Zumper.com. So at this point, we have they're advertising in Denver, they're advertising in Dallas, they just started in Houston. You may have seen some Facebook ads. But as they ramp up even more marketing and get more traffic to Zumper.com, it's going to be even more important for us to be on there. So after Craigslist, Zumper is really making a push to be the leader in the country, number 2 behind them for rental search.
Wow, thank you for that. So according to Gary Vee, the people who are brave enough to get onto these, take advantage of these opportunities the soonest, the fastest, even when it's not, nobody else is doing it yet. When it does, when that switch is flipped and you're someone that's already been using it regardless of results, you built up an account, you're ahead of the game. So it's probably a good opportunity to start.
I started.
Yeah.
How many do you have in there right now?
70,
Oh, you do?
65, 66.
66.
I think I'll put maybe the more expensive ones on there, so
Yeah.
when it does come, it's worth the.
Yeah, I have like this new, I don't know if you've seen it in Dropbox, but it's called Southampton. Look at that mother. So nice. Yes.
Andrea, on Zumper, on private notes, I actually notate the name of the complex, so I can actually, when someone sends it to me, it doesn't show the client the name, but it shows me the name. So I always have to check.
Oh, see?
What did she say?
So there's a private notes option, I guess, when you're posting an ad, and she puts the name of the property, so when someone does reply, she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, nice.
Exactly.
Or you could use reference number too, right?
Yeah.
Or could you use reference number in there?
Yeah, you could.
So if you didn't want to give the name of the property, you could use our reference.
Yeah, but it's for even the reference number. I don't know all the reference numbers. That private note is only for me. And so when it pops up, it shows me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Where is the private unit to yourself on?
Yeah, so.
Great idea.
What did Samita just say last? What was her last thing she said?
She was just reiterating that comment again.
Oh.
Because I don't have the access to the reference numbers on my phone or something. That way I know which one it is.
Yeah, then, right. So I guess it's when you create a new one, there's private notes, I'm sure.
Yes, when you in description.
So we'll just do there.
In description.
Oh, okay, let me see.
So much prettier than Craigslist.
I know.
Yeah, Craigslist is very basic. Craigslist used to be awesome, and
It
then they
did.
outlawed HTML, real HTML or all HTML, but we used to have, it was all in HTML, you copy and paste it in, and all the imaging, all the verbiage, already for everybody. But when Craigslist came along, you take the good with the bad, but when it happened, it also knocked a bunch of people off Craigslist because they had to wake up and actually be more creative.
Yeah.
And so it's a win-lose kind of deal over the years with Craigslist, but you used to be able to make them really pretty.
I'll be honest, I used to be scared.
But now it's a level playing field. Nobody can do more than anybody else. Like, you know.
You know why I feel comfortable doing this on Craigslist? Because
Oh, right here?
we're
Okay.
going to apartment complex together.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
can see you that first time there. This was private leases.
Because when you get a response to it, it brings it up, you can it's a response and it'll let you know which one it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Coffee shop.
That initial opening, I send everybody their information, the phone numbers, and I never want to be too weird to
Oh.
You guys, picture of a generator on Craigslist, and she's like laying in her bed.
I know, I've seen it.
But is that a chart?
Shit, playing in bed.
An actual photo. And she's like, this is your house, and she's like, she's laying on her bed, and she's leaning on a bed, and like the room's not picked up, and
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
It looks like we're losing the room.
Yeah, everybody's hungry and
I think we're
they're
losing
starting
the
to
room.
graze. I think they're-
So whatever Zach said about that bill about questions is awesome. And then if people want to get on Yammer and from anything that we dove into today or dive in deeper later, and then we'll figure out something that whether we make videos or do these things or put it together in an Excel spreadsheet or actually a Word document, whatever it is, we'll figure out ways to expand on any of this. But we're losing the